That is our mayor. He is dead. He has been lying there dead for 3 days. No one has done a thing. Not moved him, not looked into his death, not even replaced him with a temporary appointee. For the last 3 days, the highest ranking official in our town has been a dead guy. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Wolves are dragging the body away as if to illustrate my point. Bye! Bye, Mr. Mayor. Bye. Have fun becoming wolf shit. Bye!
What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to Tactical Newbie, the channel where a newbie like me gets into all things tactical. With the funny movie introductions out of the way, per usual, like we always do, let's get right into today's video. So today's video is basically going to be a brand new segment that I'm going to be throwing out to you guys on the Tactical Newbie channel. This segment is going to be called Tactical Comparison. It's where I'm basically going to take the Gucci version of something, and then the budget / Amazon / low budget version of something, and compare them offhand visually, and see basically similarities, differences, and kind of basically do a comparison of the two, and then finalize that with basically a rating system, which I'm going to call a clone rating system, which is basically going to be a 1 through 10 rating, basically determining how close or far that clone is, or that low budget version is. 1 obviously being the worst, 10 being like a perfect match. So with all that said out of the way, this is kind of going to be one of those things where I'm going to kind of feature down the line for the next couple weeks with a wide array of a different Gucci gear. So be on the lookout for that. It's not just going to focus on specifically plate carriers. It's going to be other components to either a plate carrier or other placards or other variations of different things that I come across within the next year. So also be on the lookout for that. But today's tactical comparison is going to be for the Ferro Concepts Slickster versus the Krydex low-vis slick plate carrier. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to see a comparison between these two products, visual comparison across the board, and then a determination of how closely of a clone the Krydex is to the Ferro Concepts Slickster plate carrier. So with all the rambling out of the way, I will see you guys on the other side. Alrighty guys, and away we go. So this is going to be the quote-unquote tactical comparison of the Ferro Concepts Slickster versus the Krydex / tactical Cronex / Emerson gear slick style plate carrier system. So basically what you're going to kind of get is just a one-for-one overview of the comparison between the two systems. To the best of my capabilities, of course, I will try to highlight just things along the nature of stitching, as well as just vast similarities and also vast differences along the lines of both of these systems, as well as touch on the price points and then give a general rating of what I feel this Krydex slick style plate carrier rates compared to the real thing, which is of course the Ferro Concepts Slickster plate carrier system. Of course, basically just started out the shoot with just an overhead view, so that way you can just see the visual similarities between the two systems, and from here we'll move to more integrated comparisons.
Hey, yo, dog. Will this shirt make me look gay?
Nah, man.
What about now?
Alright, from here, starting off with the Ferro Concepts Slickster, just first taking a look at the hook and loop Velcro cummerbund attachment point. You can basically see how it's a double hook and loop that overlaps each other to basically affix onto the front of the plate bag, which is also loop style Velcro. Elastic style cummerbund, which is actually very similar in makeup to the Krydex. I'm just going to call it Krydex from here on out. Hook and loop style elastic / Velcro cummerbund system as well. Just right off the rip, you can kind of see that there is pretty vast similarities in the makeup and design of these two cummerbund systems and how they integrate to one another. Quality-wise and just at the feel and texture, they both feel very, very similar. Without, of course, doing a further deep dive, it's hard to really tell if they're both made of the same quality material. Looking into the stitching, you can see that the stitching is fairly tight on the Krydex plate carrier system across the board. The plate carrier does come with interlocking clasps on the front of the front plate bag, so that way you can integrate any type of clasp style modular placard systems, as well with the integrated Velcro. Just kind of giving a brief overview of the front plate bag to kind of give you a grasp of what it kind of looks like. Moving on back to the Ferro concepts, you can basically see that the setup is bar none pretty much exactly the same. Stitching looks almost to the same degree as what you saw with the Krydex. Me not being a professional seamster, I wouldn't be able to tell you off rip or offhand exactly if the stitching is 100% the same, but just by the looks of it across the board on both the cummerbund and the front and back plate bag, they look very similar. Just kind of giving an overview there. Like you say, you can see basically the stitching system. From what a lot of people say, that it's a double stitch style integration, or at least stitching of the material. Again, not really having much background in that. I would assume that might be the case. I'll have to look more into what the difference is between a single stitch and a double stitch to really be able to do a better comparison, maybe even down the road. One big difference to point out between the Ferro Concept Slickster and the Krydex Slick or Low Vis Plate Carrier is that the shoulder straps, at least for the Ferro Concepts, are basically vinyl like interlocking, so they basically slide into one another, while the shoulder straps for the Krydex Slick Plate style plate carrier is more of a like a hook and loop interlock adjustable style shoulder strap. From here, getting a more in-depth look at the cummerbunds between the two systems, what you can see is that there is basically an uncanny similarity between the two. It looks like that the material made of both cummerbund systems seems to be of a similar make. I do notice that the Krydex is a little bit more elastic of a cummerbund than the Ferro Concepts. Not to say whether or not that is a good thing or a bad thing. And the actual pockets for the cummerbund system are, for the Krydex at least, is a little bit bigger than the Ferro Concepts. I don't know if that would be necessarily a hindrance to what you may want to carry down the line, but that is kind of one of the things that I did notice. Stitching, of course, looks very similar. Again, not being a professional seamster, wouldn't know really how to really gauge or accurately measure really the quality of the seams on that. But moving along to the back of the plate bag, you can see that the interlocking of the cummerbund is also the same hook and loop style interlock with kind of a slick back style. Of course, you can put any type of Velcro attachments, pockets, or any type of gear on the back as needed because of the hook and loop style Velcro. But there is, again, as you can tell, an uncanny resemblance between the two. The styles are pretty much indistinguishable from one another, but at least with the naked eye. Of course, if you were to like take the cummerbund off of the Krydex and slap it onto the Ferro Concepts, just day-to-day walking, I would be shocked or surprised if anybody would even notice the difference in the manufacturing between the two. They would just assume just across the board that it was a Ferro manufactured cummerbund system, which is kind of a good pro or con, because down the line, if you're looking for replacement cummerbunds for your Ferro Concepts Slickster, you might even, just to save a couple bucks, instead of ordering directly through Ferro, it might make sense to go through a secondhand company like Krydex. Why pay more money for something that, at least visually, I can tell right off the rip, right off the bat, looks almost exactly the same. All right, and from here we'll kind of get a detailed look of the interior mesh padding for both the front and back plate bags for both the Ferro Concepts Slickster and the Krydex Slick style Plate Carrier. Basically kind of give you a visual representation of how the two look. This is also one of the bigger differences between the two manufacturers, which we'll kind of touch on a little bit more detail shortly.
With great power comes...
Great responsibility?
I was going to stick with bitches, but if you want to be a virgin for the rest of your life...
Uncle Albert!
All right, back at it to take a look at the interior mesh padding between the two plate carrier systems. One thing that you can kind of see drastically different, or be at least pointed out between the two, is that the Ferro Concepts does seem to have interior stitching, just more predominantly due to the style in which that they have the shoulder straps. They have the integrated kind of sliding shoulder straps with the laminate style shoulder straps that have kind of like a Tigris slider tool that allows you to kind of integrate sliding and adjustment for the shoulder straps. They kind of like interiorly slide into one another, but the mesh otherwise seems very similar. It seems like that the Ferro Concepts mesh though is a little bit tighter. Stitching does look to be a little bit tighter as well. The mesh, at least on the Krydex, seems to be of a bigger, I guess, hole, or I wouldn't even know what to determine the mesh quality as, but it's just the holes in the mesh that seemed a little bit more breathable, or at least have bigger holes compared to the Ferro Concepts. Looking at the plate lip that basically holds the plates into the front plate bags. You can tell right off the bat there that you do have vast similarities between the two lips, at least in dimensionality and also in hook and loop Velcro style. Only difference is that the Ferro Concepts have at least laser cut down at the bottom of their lip to integrate any type of mauling items as you may see fit, or to be able to do like quick connects of some sort. But yeah, aside from that, they're pretty similar across the board, at least in at face value. Again, working with both of these systems in the near future, we'll be able to determine how long one may last versus the other, or if both of them accurately last around the same. Moving on from here to the rear plate bags, just kind of give you basically another quote-unquote visual representation of the similarities between the two rear plate bags, just off of just the visuality between the two, or just looking off of the two, you can tell that both of them, again, just vastly similar in make. They're kind of indistinguishable from one another. One thing to point out clearly is that the Ferro Concepts plate carrier that I ordered actually is a large, while the Krydex is a medium. So the dimensions are slightly bigger between the two, but that's not actually a difference between the two manufacturers so much as it is just a difference between the two sizes. I figured me being a bigger person, it just made more sense to run a bigger plate carrier. Because one thing that I did notice just with the Krydex version is that the medium size doesn't seem to have at least the amount of coverage across my chest as I would like. I do have some vital points that were kind of peeking out, so to speak, which could make it detrimental, obviously, to serving the purpose in which it's meant to, which is to protect vital organs and all the inside stuff. All right, from here we're kind of getting back to just the look at the front plate bags between the two plate carrier systems to just kind of finalize everything out, so that way you can again get a pretty thorough look at the similarities between the two. Kind of touched on basically all the essential components on both plate carriers as it pertains to the cummerbund, front and back plate bags, and shoulder straps. All in all, these two systems, like I said, are uncannily similar to one another. Obviously, one's made in America, one is probably made in China, so take that for what you will, but all things considered, stitching and actually dimensionality between the two are vastly similar across the board. Even though that both of these are actually in their slickest state without being built out in any degree. The Krydex version does come with a couple nice components, which I will touch on in a little bit, that kind of allocate at least more features, so to speak, or at least a better benefit for purchasing for the price. But we'll touch on to that in just shortly.
What are you doing here? What do you mean?
Well, I'm supposed to be the only black guy at this party.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know. It's whack.
Hey, man.
Alrighty, and from here, touch on some of the perks that the Krydex plate carrier does offer. Here is a MK style placard system that comes with the Krydex slick style low vis plate carrier system, as well as it does come with the associating or attached drop pouch, or at least a dangler pouch. That is attached, obviously, to the MK style placard. Now, the placard within itself is kind of a knockoff of the Spiritus Systems placard. It does have the front pocket and does have the allocation to hold 6 5.56 magazines. And then the dangler drop pouch is separate. It is not attached to the placard system. It is hook and loop, and I just have it mollied there just so that way I can install it both together. All in all, though, that's kind of what you get for this system. Retail price is $95.95 from the Krydex website, which is really, really nice considering the amount of stuff that you do get with this specific plate carrier system as compared to the Ferro concepts. The Ferro concepts, you basically just get the plate carrier front and back bags. Retail price is $160 for just basically front and back plate bags. And the cummerbund. All in all, clone rating I would give for the Krydex is a 9 out of 10.
You destroyed the only thing I love. All right? There it is. What do you love?
I love poetry. And a glass of scotch. And, of course, my friend Baxter here.
Well, guess what? Now this is happening.
Excuse me. Excuse me. What are you doing?
That's how I roll.
Alrighty guys, I hope you liked the video. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know what you think of today's video and the brand new tactical comparison segment. Let me know if this is a hit or miss. Keep in mind, irregardless of your views, whether or not it's a hit or miss, this will be something that will be popping up periodically in the year 2024. So definitely, and it is going to feature some items that aren't just going to be specific to plate carrier systems or battle belt systems or anything like that. I'm going to be basically hitting a wide swath, a wide variety of different things in the tactical space. If there's a clone for it, I will be basically comparing it to the real thing and seeing, again, pros, cons, ups, downs, price points, stuff like that. So that way at least gives you an available option to see the difference between the clone thing and the real thing and kind of go from there. But with all that said and done, that's kind of the wrap for today's video. Just want to touch on a couple of things. Of course, like I've said before the last couple of weeks, I do have a Patreon. If you feel like you want to support the channel, support me, support the tactical community, or tactical newbie community, excuse me, feel free to do so. Swing on by to Patreon to take a look at that. Also have a Twitter/X, which I'm not really super active on at the moment. I mean, I touch in and out here and there, don't really post a crap load, but I will be featuring, of course, stuff, pictures, just posts, stuff like that on that as well. So if you want to, follow me along there, feel free to do so as well. But yeah, long and short of it is, like I said before, this will be something that I will be featuring periodically throughout 2024. And yeah, with all the rambling out of the way, I will see you guys next week.